Hello and welcome to the show. Now, the BMW bubble car is quite difficult to drive just from standard. While it doesn't have a huge amount of power or very much speed whatsoever, cornering is rather scary, and with a slight bump on a curb, very easy to get this car up onto its side. But we're not going to be driving a standard one today. Nope, I'm going to be maxing this vehicle out, which will mean swapping the engine and giving it tremendous amounts of power. You've got to bear in mind, this vehicle was designed to deal with 13 horsepower. Okay, 13 horsepower. Now, we saw what a rotary-powered one was like in yesterday's video. This one is going to have considerably more power. Now, I love the rotary engine. However, the 2-litre i4 will get more power when fully modified, so that's what we're going to go with. Does make it slightly heavier than the standard car. We are still going to have a tremendous power-to-weight ratio and very little in the way of control. Yes, we want the turbocharger most definitely on this. Ooh, what aero bits can we actually get on here? We can have a front splitter that kind of removes the metal bars. It might give us some grip. That's what we want, some grip. I was kind of hoping for a crazy rear wing. I wasn't expecting it. It would have been nice, though. That'll do. Again, if it can give us... Actually, giving us some grip might actually be problematic. We'll talk about that when we get to tyres, because one of the real issues with this car, and one of the reasons why it is so difficult to drive, is the very high centre of mass. And when you stick it on racing tyres, which I will be doing for this series, there is a very high possibility of essentially grip roll going on. Now, when I'm driving it around Virginia, it will be in the wet, so this might balance out quite nicely. Now, the racing tyres you'll see going here are on full slicks, but of course in the wet we will have the equivalent of a racing wet weather tyre. There will be a lot less grip available on the road. Having said that, I still think this car is so top heavy we are going to have massive issues with simply keeping it on the ground and getting it around a corner. If I can complete a lap without spinning this car, I think I will be doing quite well. Quite frankly, if I can make a lap with this vehicle in one piece without pointing the wrong direction or without ending up upside down, we will be doing quite well. I have no idea how fast this is going to. I don't even. Just thinking ahead, how on earth this is even going to behave on a speed run? How on earth this is even going to behave on the bumps up towards the first corner at Virginia? Are all questions that are currently terrifying me, because I'm pretty sure the car will try and murder me. We're up into S-Class with the bubble car. S-Class with this little monstrosity of a vehicle. I think the paint job suits it very well. I've just got into a menu now where you're not going to see the car again, but I think the paint job does suit the car. Oh dear. How much power? This engine is, I think it's about 700-ish. It might be just... does it quite get 800? I don't think so. But when you're talking about 700-800 horsepower in a vehicle that weighs 1,000 pounds, that's some serious power to weight ratio figures. Now, the rules for this series, that they always have been, the cars must keep their standard drive line, so it will be rear-wheel drive. Now, I have driven the one I did in the David vs. Goliath video was a 4-wheel drive one, and that was horrendously difficult to drive. So this one, we've got all of the power going through the 2 rear wheels, but the 2 rear wheels that are sat in the centre of the vehicle, which is, yeah, it's basically crazy. On this one, up to 684 horsepower. We're past the 700 horsepower mark now. Okay, we're not quite going to be getting up to 800. It's going to be in the low 700s, but still 719 horsepower in a bubble car that was designed to deal with 13 horsepower. Yeah, as I said, I really don't think we're going to complete a lap with this vehicle without it rolling or trying to murder me, but I'm going to give it my best shot. So, of course, to test the BMW out, we have come to the Virginia International Raceway. I have got 5 laps to try and survive with this car, and the times are pretty much irrelevant because this is going to be at the bottom of the table If it doesn't, I will be astounded. It's not going to beat the the Mini. That much is, I think, for sure. Let us see. My TV is really loud, so I'm going to have to turn that one down. Right, that's better. We'll have a second attempt at the launch. Surprisingly, the traction is actually quite good getting this going off the line, considering such tiny tyres. Oh, gearbox is useless. Okay, we've had a second car, this time second car in a row, in which the gearbox has been useless. So let's just dump that down there. That should be a more sensible gear ratios. There we go. Right, car. Oh, now we've got the tricky bit of getting it slowed for a corner. Yeah, the rain's not in. Oh, God. The rain's not going to reduce grip enough to stop the car from going up on its side, and then we have the extra big concern of, well, we've seen many a time in the wet, if a vehicle gets up on its side, it's very easy for it to roll over. Oh, this is going to about as predictably as I expected. BMW, please come back down. Thank you. Now, the curbs are probably not actually going to be a massive problem. The reason I say that is when cars roll off, or the vehicles that I would traditionally roll off curbs, you actually have to have the wheel hit the curb. With this car, when you're turning a corner, the wheel is already in the air, so going across the curb makes no difference. There's absolutely no difference. So rolling this off a curb, I don't think it's going to really happen, because I think it's going to roll on its own. There we go. It's gone. Well, lap 1 has not been a successful lap. Lap 1 has not worked at all, and I'm safe. Yeah, I'm safe in my assumption that the Mini will not get beaten by the Isetta. I can't even take that corner. Hey! Cut down again. How on earth am I going to survive a lap with this car? The only way we're going to survive a lap is I'm going to have to really take it so slowly through these corners. I simply can't carry speed. And where oh no, come on, try and get it around. I'm trying to use like minimum steering lock to make these turns. While the four-wheel drive rotary powered one I had in the racing challenge worked because it was in the dry. In the dry on this game, when cars go up on their side, Forza Force stops them from rolling over. Quite how it works, I don't know, but the cars kind of get sort of stuck up on their side, but they don't quite go over fully. In the rain, that doesn't happen. So this, when you're taking a corner, I can't just boot it and sort of have it sort itself out. Not only do we have the traction, not have the traction from four-wheel drive, but if we're up on our side, it will roll over. So a lot more caution is required here. No, oh, god damn, and it's not just the going up on its side. Even if it didn't do that, we've got random bits of oversteer. The bumps, I don't think, if we were going fast enough, the bumps would cause issues. I just can't go quick enough anywhere for the bumps to cause big problems. Oh god, the handling is so awful. It's just terrible. Oh no, front end get down. I'm finding myself turning into a corner and then having to slam on the brakes midway around because we're suddenly about to roll. We might be better off just going really sort of creep our way into a turn. And no, oh, I thought I was going slow enough for that one. Even then, we can't do it. Bloody hell. So, the Mini would have crossed the line. Oh, Christ. I've got about the awful, awful brakes. The Mini would have crossed the line now. Admittedly, this might not actually be as far down on the Mini as I thought it was going to be, because that was an awful final turn. Please get back down on the ground. Thank you, car. Oh, God, this is a nightmare to drive. I'm amazed at how good the traction is here. You know, the traction out of these turns, despite such tiny wheels and such huge amounts of power in the wet, is not bad. It's quicker down this straight than the Maserati race car. The Maserati goes about 140. This is doing 160. But we do only have a few more laps to try and get a clean lap in. No exploring of the circuit. No rolling over, please, BMW. We are around the first corner section. Oh, we've got a little bit of a slide going on in the wet here. Oh no, that's a big bit of a slide. I've overdone it now. If I'm not going up onto two wheels, it's just got no rear end grip. It's just nothing whatsoever. I was wondering if sliding it might be a good idea. As strange as that is, I know, to hear coming from me. If sliding the car... Oh, we've rolled again. might help. We've seen this with some of the jelly cars. Woo, that's a big wheelie. If you slide the car around the turns, they don't have time to find the grip to get them up on their side. The Lancia Delta, the S4 Delta that we've made do very, very silly things with jelly setups. That you can stop it from rolling by sliding it around all over the place. This, it is... there's too little control to get away with that as a technique. Oh, you see? As soon as the back end started going, I was ready to catch it. And then, well, we're round still. Oh, this is definitely the silliest of cars. And I love that Turn 10 have put vehicles like this in. I know some people will not approve of having this kind of car in Forza, and I can understand why that might be the case. But I just think it's fantastic that we get to mess around with cars like this. That's the joy of Forza. There are plenty of race cars to play about with. But how many games can say you can put a 700 horsepower Honda engine into a BMW bubble car and then try and drive it around a wet circuit? It's just this kind of silliness is what I love about Forza. And yeah, I'm really glad. I love this latest car pack. It's fantastic. There are some sensible racing vehicles. There's a truck and there's a bubble car. It's fantastic. It sums up Forza very, very well. And yeah, I absolutely love it. And the challenge of trying to keep this thing under control is like nothing else you will have ever driven in a game ever, probably. I know Gran Turismo has some crazy cars, but I don't think you can put this much power into them. No, this lap was going so well. Oh, BMW, you have betrayed me completely. It was all going so amazingly well that time out, and I thought I hadn't had a problem coming up that section before, so I thought I would be a little bit braver, and that was a stupid bloody decision, that one. Oh, the pressure is really on. Now, this has happened quite a few times, to be honest, in this series, where we have got one lap to really go for it and try and set a lap. I'm pretty sure it was that with the NASCAR when we went fastest, beating the Veyron. However, this is a lap to not make a mistake. We are not going to roll the Isetta this time out. I hope we can get away with that. It's really impressive speed. Doing 160 down here is just 160 is just incredible. But then we've got to get it stopped. We've got to get it turned through these first corners. Now, take it easy through these sections. It's actually, I mean, the speed through these turns is not too bad. It's only because I'm having to slow it down so much not to go up on its side. That's where I'm losing all of the time. The back end started getting away from me there, but we have kept it under control. Yeah, I can clip that rolly curb. I'm not going the speed or the steering angle or anything to have an issue rolling. Now, this is where it all got away from me last time. We are going to kind of coast our way up here. I want to go faster. The car is capable of accelerating much faster, but this is all about keeping it under control. We're a little bit wide through that section, but we are on all four wheels. Well, most of the time we're on all four of the wheels. To have a lift as soon as the front starts picking up. I mean, it accelerates very, very quickly. I just can't use that acceleration because we're going to have issues. Again, you know, we've got sort of 80 on the exit, but it is so delicately through the corners. We go up towards this final turn. Don't roll the Isetta. Don't roll the Isetta around there. Now we can get on the power and launch it towards the start-finish line. It is a 124.8. That is not far down, as far down as I expected it. I really did not think it would get that close to the Mini. Yes, it is 6 seconds down, but what a machine this is. I'm really pleased I actually did get a clean lap out of this vehicle. It's as stupid and challenging to drive as you would expect here. It is so easy to roll this car. It's so easy to have it tumble over, and this is with a standard setup. This is not with me doing silly stuff like we had to do with some other cars. This is just, it will go when cornering. Admittedly, we can't quite do it as lower a speed as the Delta has managed. That would need some jelly suspension going on, I suspect. But yeah, for actually taking it around a track, it is near undrivable. But near is the key word. I did get a clean lap out of the vehicle amongst all of the rolls. Yes, it is at the bottom of our table. For a lap time, some 6 seconds down on the Mini Cooper, 10 seconds down on the Fiesta XR2. But it could have been a lot worse, and I expected it to be a lot further down that table. We did manage that all-important clean lap. Well, now it is time to see how fast this thing will go in a straight line and be terrified in new and interesting ways. So it is here to Le Mans with the BMW. I would love to get it up to 200 miles an hour. I think the bigger issue will be keeping control of it up to that speed. The benchmark may possibly say that it is capable of doing it. It's whether it staying on the road is a thing. Yeah, apparently it is capable of hitting 200 miles an hour. Oh, I really want to have a 200 mile an hour bubble car. Let's go see what we can do with aero. Now, taking this aero off might not help it. It might actually hinder it if we don't have enough grip to be getting on with. We'll see what the benchmark says. It reckons that the downforce would hinder it. The drag would hinder it more than the grip increase. So we're going to take that off and see what happens. It is very, very possible that I'm going to roll it long before we ever get to the straight, of course. Now we are here on dry tarmac. When we go to take a corner, there will be, well, more grip than we had at Virginia, and we will be up on our side, and might be too much even for Forza Force to stop from going over. I don't particularly want to have the car go over. I'd rather not have a cracked windscreen, sorry. It's amazing how quickly you adjust to driving with the cracked windscreen. I'd kind of not noticed it. You noticed the first lap of the run around Virginia, but after that I kind of quickly forgot about it. See what I mean about being barely drivable? It's just bucking from side to side through these long sweeping corners, but it hasn't gone over yet. We are just about surviving. The bumps down this straight are likely to be horrendous. We are likely to have no end of problem with the bumps. Light cars often do have issues down here. The Lotus 11 has massive problems, and this is as light. I can't even get on the power. It was already bucking, and we're gone. Arse. Things have gone very badly wrong immediately for the... damn it, I just went to start going up for the speed run, and the car is tipped and tumbling, and we are out. So I will, rather than just restarting the whole thing, we will head back here and kind of redo it from this point. Just give the car a fair run up to the straight, because if this can get 200 miles an hour, that would be a hell of an achievement. It's going to be 200 miles an hour, and then we're going to crash into the wall after the kink, because there is no way in hell, if this car can't make it onto the straight, there is no way it's making it around the kink. But if we can get 200 miles an hour before then, I would be very satisfied. Right, now we are on to the straight proper. It is going like mad, up to 190 miles an hour. We might do 200 before we hit the bumps. Indeed, we have. We are at 200. Why, we're at 203. I'm going to extend these gears some more. That is crazy acceleration from this. I know it's very light and so on. I really thought like the aerodynamics would hold it back, because it is like a little brick. Admittedly, it's not like a giant brick like the trucks, but still, it's a brick-shaped, kind of. It's not the greatest aerodynamics, certainly, going on here. And it's surviving the bumps for now. I'm not sure this gear ratio has helped us much anymore. About 203 is what we're looking for. There we go, 203 miles an hour in a bubble car. Unfortunately, that is all it has got to give as we come to this turn. I'm ready for a lot of airtime as we approach it. Oh, we've already got the front end up in the air. No, oh, bouncy, bouncy. There we go. It was going to roll. I think that's the most spectacular crash we've had there. It initially looked like I might have been able to make it around the turn, and then as we actually started turning in, that's where it started bouncing, and that was it. Then it's on its side, then it's going to roll, and the bubble car has tumbled once more to finish, but it cracked 200 miles an hour. That is good going. That is very good going, in fact, from this vehicle, seeing as some of the more extreme vehicles have not been able to hit 200 miles an hour. More extreme, sillier, whatever you want to call them, haven't been able to get to that 200 mile an hour mark. We shall have some celebratory donuts from the BMW. That speed will put the car into 43rd place. It's actually, no, tell a lie, sorry. It will go into 41st place. It is 203 miles an hour. It is the same speed that is achieved by the Fiat 595. It beats the Willys Jeep. It beats the Ford F100, the Volkswagen Campervan, the Lamborghini LM002, the Mini Cooper. It goes quicker than down this straight and wins most spectacular crashes and most rolls in this series as well. So there are certainly some awards to be won by the Isetta. It's just mad, crazy fun like this. Barely drivable when it comes to a corner, very fast in a straight line. Surprisingly good traction, actually. That's perhaps the most surprising thing about all of it, that despite having such tiny wheels, well, located where they are and everything, it is still got really quite good traction for getting going. So tiny tyres, I should say, rather than wheels. Tiny tyre widths on this, but it will still put that power down. Yeah, good fun. I recommend you have a go with it. As I said earlier, it is literally like nothing else you will have ever driven on this game. Even the likes of the Jelly Deltas and stuff that I've built in the past, nothing is quite as stupendously silly as this particular car. However, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.